In this video, let's turn our attention toward working with shares. Now, file sharing is one of the most fundamental features of a server. It's one of the main things that got us here to start with. We needed to be able to very easily share files between multiple client machines in a secure way. We needed to control that access. Now, that has been a problem for users ever since it started, though. It strikes them as complex. They get lost in it. People can't gain access. They get confused. Now, Windows Server 2012 supports two different file sharing models. And I just want to mention these here in this short video because you could see them on the exam, although in the real world, we generally only use one of these. The first type, the one we use most of the time, is standard file sharing. And then the second is public folder sharing. Well, let's take a very quick look at both of these. First up, standard file sharing. This allows users to access files, folders, and drives over the network. No big surprise there, but it does not provide security for local access. Now, standard file sharing is also called in-place file sharing. And the reason it's called in-place file sharing is you're not required to move your files around, to drop them in a special folder, to make them shared and available for everybody else to see on the network. No, you actually go into Windows Explorer, you go find the folder or the file you want to share, you right-click it, and you set share permissions, or you set whatever access restrictions you want to set on whatever users. Now, with public folder sharing, any files to be shared must be physically moved to the public folder. Now, this is something Microsoft has toyed with in a number of different editions of the operating system, both server and client, to try to simplify this whole idea of sharing these folders. And unfortunately, the more they try to make it simpler, it seems the more complex it's getting. Now, the files in the public folder, once they've been dropped there, can be accessed by any local user. And once network access is enabled, the files can be accessed by remote users. And I'm not going to go too deep into this because public folder sharing provides some access control, but it's not as granular, it's not as secure as standard file sharing. Most people tend to find it confusing. But you do need to be aware on the exam, you might see them mention standard folder sharing and public folder sharing. Just know standard's what most of us do all the time. It's more secure. It's probably what you're going to opt for in a server environment.